Hey, what's going on, guys? I got CheFPV, Zero Ground FPV, all that stuff. Check it out. Today on the table, looking up at it a little bit, and we'll actually kind of do some focusing in on certain parts, is my new ground station. So I want to start by saying I hate ground stations typically. Just what they are, like I love. It's why I use the LaForge in my Dominator V2s because I have a ground station built in, and it's just a pair of goggles. Throw them on my head. I can walk around. I can do whatever. I don't have to worry about picking it up. I don't have to worry about it falling over. I don't have to worry about putting it together. So there's just a lot about a ground station that I've always disliked. I've had a couple. And I always end up getting rid of them because once the LaForge came out, there was just no need. So I moved over and I switched to Connex. I've now built one quad out of my Rana 220, and I've got another Rana actually sitting here waiting for a package today to make it digital using the Connex ProSight Vision Kit. So knowing I was going to do that, knowing that I wanted to go with a new type of goggles like a Glyph, I wanted to try and build a ground station around the idea that I need it for the Connex, but I want to be able to utilize 5.8 and 3.3 because I have a 3.3 Finch system that I've been wanting to use for analogs, set up. All on one station. I wanted it to be able to be set up and plugged in and all ready to go within just a few plugs for everyday use, which means that when I have this thing together, I'm not taking it apart and putting it all individually in part or different components in different areas or anything like that. That would be for like traveling if I really needed it stored for long-term use. I wanted something that I could essentially grab and just take with me anywhere as is, just like this, and not be worried about it tipping over. So that was my goal. Now, I had all these thoughts right before I bought the Connex, and literally the day after I bought the Connex, Bapu went ahead and posted his ground station. So he made a video on his YouTube channel and posted it up, and I saw it. A lot of guys saw it, and most of us, I think, that were buying Connex that week went ahead and just started buying everything that he had. I did a little more research on a couple of the items. There was a few items that I thought I might be able to find better and less expensive. For instance, the monitor is $99 from RangeVideo, and the cloner box is what that Bapu uses is $99 from Amazon. I got a $40 less expensive cloner box that seems to be, ironically, a clone of the one Bapu has. And the monitor, I did some looking around, and thankfully I decided to go with the RangeVideo monitor because there's nothing else like it on the market as far as the housing, the way it's designed, the quality of the housing, the fact that it has an HDMI out, it's only 5 inches, and that it's completely flat on the back. And then there's a few other great things about it, like it has a 5.8 receiver built in, and something else that it has is I actually built this from a servo cable. It has a video out that I built this little plug for. Now what that does is that allows me to use this in 5.8 mode. The magnet, by the way, we'll go ahead and show you while we're doing this. I went with a different magnet setup. Instead of a handlebar and a cell phone kit put together, which was about 25 bucks, I got this for like $7. It's a little magnet ball, and it comes with this little key, or this little thing on the back, and you can actually flip this out, and it becomes a stand to rest. So that was pretty cool. But it also came with this really great patch antenna. It's awesome. So awesome. I can't really figure out which side is which. But so this basically allows me to connect right here. Oops. I have the thing. Connect right here magnetically. It just sits. And then whenever I'm ready to go into 5.8, I take this and I actually plug it in up here to an HDMI up converter. So this is going to up convert video from this signal into the box and send it out HDMI. So now if I take my HDMI cable, which it's actually plugged in, and plug it into it, and then plug it into the clone box, then I'm actually taking 5.8, upscaling it to HDMI, sending it through a clone box, then taking it out of the clone box into the splitter, Bapu splitter that he recommended, with these awesome mono price HDMIs. They're like $5 and they're so low profile. So the splitter then sends it out. The blue plug is the Avegant Glyph. The black plug is actually the monitor, it's the coil cable, but we're not using that obviously in the situation where we're taking the 5.8 from the monitor. However, if you do plug that in, what you can do is, now if I remove this, I actually have a 3.3 receiver. You can see that red antenna. So there's a 3.3 receiver right here with the AV out hardwired into the box. So I soldered the wires directly on the bottom of the board to the same up converter. So now on this side, I can take 3.3, send it into the box. Once this is disconnected, it reads this one, and pump it out into the DVR, the digital DVR, and into the splitter, and then again out into my Avegant Glyphs. So now I've got two different analog signals, 3.3 and 5.8, that I can take, throw into the digital box for DVR, distribute it to my glyphs, and my monitor in this situation for the 3.3, it would display off of the Coil HDMI. So that's my analog setup now running Avegant Glyphs. So that's pretty dope. So you see the Connex. Obviously, it is also, so to switch over to Connex, it's as simple as one cable. I literally just pull this monoprice cable out and put it into the Connex, and now Connex is actually running through the digital box and into the distributor. So that's the way that my Groundstation can quickly go from one to the other to the other. Now, I also have a LiPo down here. It's a 3S LiPo, and it's powering everything off of this switch. So I power on, everything comes on. As you see, everything's powered on. And my Avegants are hanging on a little hook I made of the same type of little rubber, I forget what they're called. There's easy somethings, whatever. Now this here has two different step downs. I have one step down running the receiver and the upscaler, which is running off of a USB. So I took the USB for power that comes with the upscaler, and I wired it into one of the 5-volt step downs that I have down here. And then the second one is also for the receiver. It also can run 5 volts. So this is the 3.3 receiver. So it's running off of 5 volt that way. And then we have a second one that I'm powering the cloner box by itself off of, because I was afraid that pulling, even though these step downs pull 3 amps, I didn't know 100% how much all of this could pull at its peak. So I wanted the 3.3 system isolated, and I wanted the digital system isolated on its own 16 volt or 12 volt power. And then off this other step down, I ran 5 volts, 3 amps straight to the box. So all of that is wired directly into the back of this switch that I got. So you literally just have all the wires, you take it apart and just solder them into the back of the switch, put it all back together. I threw some hot glue right here where all the wires come together just so they don't flex a lot. And then I threw a really big piece of shrink tube over it just to kind of seal off everything. And then I wrapped all my cables, kind of like a wiring harness, with white electrical tape, because I wanted to be able to make sure it was visible when I maybe took it and threw it somewhere or was packing up. I didn't want to miss it. And then the last part about this, man, is the Manfrotto. This Manfrotto, again, the tripod is just amazing. thank you so much to Bapu for showing us his setup and how he had it. I just can't. I mean, I can't imagine what my ground station would have looked like had I had to come up with all this myself. You'll find everything you see here in the descriptions. I did mock up, by the way, this entire setup. I mocked it up with Velcro or that dual lock Velcro stuff. I recommend mocking it up that way, but once you decide and have everything wired up, I definitely recommend using double stick tape. As you can see, it just makes for a much cleaner stack. It was bigger and it was all floppy when I had all that dual lock on there. So that's just my suggestion. The cool thing is, and I didn't show you this, let me set you down. Watch how easy this whole thing breaks down. So monitor, set aside, right? Take the antenna off. As far as up here, one power cable, two power cables here. And now this is actually free and can come off. Take your two output video cables off, and it's all there. I mean, that's everything. All it's missing essentially is the power and the outputs. And then, so that leaves you with just a tripod and your glyphs. I mean, take my glyphs away, right? Now I've got a tripod and a wiring harness. I don't know how much easier I could say that could be. So there you go. That's my 3.3, 5.8, and Connex digital ground station with my Avegant Glyphs. Thanks to Bapu. Thank you very much. Mike Gossick also for helping source a lot of this stuff. And we talked a lot about all these different things. Hope you guys find it helpful. And again, in the description, you'll find Bapu's video as well as all the part lists for all this stuff. So fly safe, fly smart, just fly. Peace.